Kempire is brought to you by
Atlanta. I am coming to your city literally a week from today. And if you're listening to the replay this week, I'm coming there in the days coming. August 5th, we will be at the City Winery in Atlanta for the second time. I know it's a Tuesday, but what you guys got going on? Nothing. Come out for a night of tea being spilled. I already have like 3 things that I need to write down and make sure I spill at this Atlanta show. We're going to dig into Real Housewives of Atlanta, the Shamia of it all, the Portia of it all, the Phaedra of it all. We got to talk about Married to Medicine too, because they're currently filming and Dr. Heavenly's running for office. What? So we will be spilling all kinds of tea at these live shows. If you think it's anything like YouTube, then you've never been to one of these Kempire After Dark live experiences. Go get your tickets. We're coming to DC on August 22nd, New York City on September 12th. Meet and greets are available for all the shows. And don't forget the New York City show has a special live stream option, so anyone in the country or anyone around the world can be a part of the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live experience. Get your tickets today.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Be sure to let me know if you can see me, hear me. We are here for our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Yesterday, we had our special guests here, Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast, the Brooke Ashley, both hosts of our upcoming shows that are coming to DC and to New York City. But first, in just a couple of days, I will be in Atlanta for the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live experience. I'm going to dig deep into the Real Housewives of Atlanta and, of course, some other hot topics as well. If you think the show is anything like what you get here on YouTube, then you are sadly mistaken. And for those that came to our Atlanta show before, if you came to our Philly show most recently, you can tell the folks what kind of show it is. And a reminder, for those that, and I saw a lot of people recently saying, Kempire, I want to come to your show, but I'm scared to come on my own. Let me tell you something. One of the things, ever since we started doing our live shows, a lot of people buy just one ticket. They're coming solo, and they end up making friends at the show. So don't feel like you're going to be the only person there that's on your own. The majority, I haven't done the numbers, but from what I've seen from the actual like meet and greets and things like that, the majority of people are usually coming on their own. I had someone on X talking about how between their social anxiety of coming on, no, this is the one, someone that doesn't like to go outside the house. I embrace people coming out on their own. And I also go a lot of places on my own. So, and I'm going to give y'all a special shout out for everyone that comes to this show on your own. All right? So don't forget, the Kempire After Dark live experience is coming to Atlanta August 5th at City Winery. Then we're in D.C. on August 22nd at the Pearl, in Pearl, D.C., Pearl Street, D.C., that's what it's called. And then we are back here in New York City on September 12th. All shows have meet and greets available, but the New York City show has a live stream available exclusively, okay? Only that show. And for those that are saying, why don't we get a live stream? Because that's the whole point of us having this interaction in person. What happens at the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live experience, stays at the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live experience. Okay? All right. Shout out to everyone that's here. Shout out to the one person that gave us a dislike already. We haven't even said anything. Is that you, Gina? like who, what, where? Jasmine says, I'll be at the New York show by myself with yourself. And you'll have a good old time and probably make all kinds of new friends as well. So, yes, more ticket information is available in the description. Oh, and Keith says, not Kempire low-key calling out the single people. Well, no, because we had one young lady that was on X talking about coming on her own, and she's married. But now her husband's going to come with her. We had a whole conversation on X about, people coming to the show. And then she's like, false alarm, my husband's coming. Fantastic. So it's not calling out anyone single. Just because you go someone solo doesn't mean that you're single. Look at Tamra. Guys, how would you rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County? How would you rate it? I'm not loving the season so far. I'm not hating the season. I'm not hating the season like Real Housewives of New York. And maybe that's what I'm grading every show after that on a curve. I'm not hating it, but I'm also not loving it. I'm not loving it. I'm not loving the involvement of bloggers. And I do believe Katie did try to spread some information to bloggers, both past and in this week's episode. I believe it. I believe it because Katie also claimed to I've been very upfront. I've admitted my things. No, you didn't. Because when you were confronted about recording Shannon, when you were confronted with recording Shannon, you denied it. You're like, I never did. I didn't record her. And then you had to admit it. So we've caught you in multiple lies this season. And although I'm not joining the hate train that this cast is doing because all of them are conveniently want to ice you out for whatever reason, Gina, you need to let it go. Because 1 minute you're like, I know we had our issues and, I really want to be your friend. But then when you're with the other girl, it's like, I really don't know if I can trust her. And I'm like, girl. And then you're in interviews like, well, if Katie comes back, I don't know if I will come back. Girl, you got a mortgage to pay. You'll be back. I was interested to know that she has her own real estate group. She did $10 million in real estate last year. Good for her. Hopefully that will pay the mortgage. I hope so. I hope she is being smart that she's not relying on this Bravo check because that Bravo check is not reliable. In my opinion. Okay. Dude says my Twitch wouldn't start up. Oh. I don't know what's going on. We got our Twitch people in the building, right, Twitch? Shout out to our Twitch fam. We went live on Twitch before we came live here. So shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. We got D in there. We got Mama Allie's in there. We got Nelson in there. We've got Jay Poo's in there. Angel's in there. Shout out to our Twitch fam. Tanya's in there. We appreciate everyone watching whatever platform that you're watching on. We're now affiliated with Twitch. So shout out to those of you that have joined our Twitch community. I've been doing a little after show before show. Don't think I'll have time today to do an after show Twitch fan, but you never know. I might go live again later. Maybe Twitch. Maybe. Let me think. Maybe I will go live later Twitch when I record the Kempire, the Club Kempire episode because I want to talk about the Raw Ali and Cardi B fight that they had in Cannes. Oh! It's going to be a Club Kempire exclusive. You got to subscribe and pay for it. Sorry. But Twitch fan, maybe when I'm recording it, I will give you guys exclusive access. I can't promise you though. And it won't be recorded for Twitch. I will make sure that it's removed. Okay? But maybe while I'm recording it, I will go live on Twitch. Okay? So that will be later though. That will be probably this evening. I also want to talk about, you guys usually hit me up when you want me to talk about something. And Chantel, Christy, that interview she did with Carlos, I don't think I want to talk about it. I think I talked about it enough yesterday. I talked about it a little bit on social media. I don't think I want to talk about it any further because really there was nothing groundbreaking that came out of that interview. They made it seem as if that she took some sort of accountability. I said I think it was the Shade Room comments, I said, is accountability in the room with us? Because I didn't hear accountability in that interview. If I have time, maybe I'll talk about it, but I don't think I'll have time. Because, I'm preparing for a live show coming up on next week in Atlanta. And I got to fly out to Atlanta. So, yeah. Anyway, shout out to everyone watching on YouTube. I see our YouTube family. Foxy's in the building. Ariana's in the building. Vicky's watching on Facebook. Hey, Vicky. Shout out to our Facebook community. We are also live on Facebook, guys. We do have our Facebook fam. Shout out to our Facebook fam. And thank you so much already for 111 likes. All right, so that's what I have to say initially about Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm not necessarily loving the season so far. I'm not hating it, though. I'm not hating it. But I'm still sort of like, okay. Oh, yeah, Sweet. Sweet says, happy Emancipation Day to my fellow Jamaicans. Blup, blup. As Sonia would do. Happy Emancipation Day, Jamaica. I'm Jamaican. I'm only American by birth. My roots are, both my parents are Jamaican. Just like it. All right. Anyway, let me focus on what I wanted to focus on. Where are my notes when it comes to Real Housewives of Orange County? Okay, before we get into Real Housewives of Orange County, though, before we get into that, a couple of things. Did you guys hear that And Just Like That is not coming back after this third season? I know what you're thinking. You did a whole video saying that they don't need to come back. I know. Well, according to Rolling Stone, they're confirming, all right? And this is actually a statement from the And Just Like That page. from Michael Patrick King, who ruined the show with his writing. Oh, sorry. So a statement from Michael Patrick King. Let me read it. And I wouldn't be surprised that they're going to make it seem as if they decided to do this. I think HBO Max saw the writing on the wall. They saw the backlash that they saw online from the community. I'm telling you, if you go in the stars' comments, then you see a lot of people have been dragging them all season. Last week, they had one good episode. I did not watch last night's episode just yet, but this will be the series finale. 3 seasons is stellar. 3 seasons is stellar, but it wasn't a stellar season. So a statement from our showrunner, writer, and director, Michael Patrick King. So Michael Patrick King says this in a statement, and just like that, the ongoing storytelling of the Sex and the City universe is coming to an end. While I was writing the last episode of And Just Like That Season 3, it became clear to me that this might be a wonderful place to stop. Along with Sarah Jessica Parker, Casey Blows, and Sarah Aubrey, we decided to end the popular series this year with a 2-part finale and extended the original series from 10 episodes to 12. And I heard rumors of that anyway during the season. I mean, before, when they were filming the season, that it was going to be a longer season. SJP and I held off announcing the news until now because we didn't want the word final to overshadow the fun of watching the season. Fun? We're still waiting for the fun. And leave it alone. Just leave it alone after this. We don't need another movie. We don't need another iteration. We don't want a Golden Girls version. No. Leave it alone. And after Deborah Messing said what she said about our future mayor, we don't want a Golden Girls version of Will and Grace either. Deborah Messing, really? Now I know that you were the problem. Why that last season became the last season. Okay. This is not about Will and Grace. Focus. SJP and I held off announcing the news until now because we didn't want the word final to overshadow the fun of watching the season. It's great. It's with great gratitude we thank all the viewers who have let these characters into their homes and their hearts over these many years. So y'all end with this terrible season. Throw the whole show away. Exactly. Jer says that a 2-part finale is a movie. Miss Gigi, go Google it. It's worth you Googling it. Theo says that Deborah Messing has a reputation of being difficult, allegedly. And normally I don't even fall into those rumors, especially when it comes to women in entertainment, because they love to spread rumors about women in entertainment being difficult behind the scenes. So I was like, oh, whatever. But then when she came out and said what she said about Zohran Mamdani, I was like, oh, and there it is. Okay, and there it is. All right, so And Just Like That will end after this season. And I'm okay with it. If you are part of Club Kempire, I did a rewatch of season 2, and I was like, season 2 wasn't that great. And season 3 was even worse. Again, they had one good episode, and that was last week's episode. I don't know what this 2-part finale will look like. So that means we have 3 more episodes. We have episode 10, 11, and 12. I hope they end it well. I really hope they end it well. Okay, but anyway. So that announcement came. And then the Real Housewives of Miami we recapped yesterday. If you missed it, be sure to check that out. The mid-season trailer came out for Real Housewives of Miami. So I want to go through that, and then we'll get into our recap of Real Housewives of Orange County. So let's take a listen. I will be stopping and going because Bravo is so finicky. Like, I'm promoting your shows. Just saying. From what I heard, I believe this was on, oh my goodness. Please forgive me. I can't remember your name off the top of my head and just call it my age, not my hoard. He had interviewed, oh my goodness, one of the executive producers for Housewives of Miami, and they said that the streaming numbers is doing pretty well in comparison to other Housewives shows on Peacock. I apologize. I really, like, your name and your picture are in front of me, and I can't think of it. And you know we like to cite our sources, but I don't have it in front of me. Maybe later, after I will cite it in my description. Really later, because I have a meeting after this. Okay, let me play this for you in regards to Real Housewives of Miami, their mid-season trailer. I will have to describe some of it to you as well. Not mute Christmas music.
Seriously,
Really?
Anna. Last year I asked for friends, and this year I got them.
That was Stephanie. Stephanie's talking about last year I asked for friends, and now that I got them, I don't think these are real friends, girl. I really do believe that Stephanie doesn't have any real friends. After this week's episode, I believe Stephanie really does not have friends. She's not very likable. At first, I was like, oh, you know, there's something about Stephanie I like. I understand why Stephanie does not have friends.
Still to come on the Real Housewives of Miami.
Let's get this party going.
I just love the way that this show is edited as well.
What are these things? They look perverse. Should I remove my bikini? No, I don't want to see her tits anymore, man.
And then there's a scene between Gertie and Julia kissing. Here's the thing. I don't care. I'm going to allow Gertie to kiss Julia because at the end of the day, Julia should be kissing Gertie's butt. Because Gertie did not have a problem with Julia coming into the season. If you were part of our recap yesterday, you saw that this cruise beef started in 2023. But Gertie had let it go. It was brand new news to Gertie this season. Gertie doesn't have an issue with Julia. So they make out, but it's probably just for entertainment. Apparently, it doesn't last long because you see how it's been playing out on social media.
Whoa! It was open mouth! Jeez, Pips, is that how you got all those ballers?
Welcome to Marbella!
I just love that these ladies, they give us what we want. They give us what we want. This big trip that they're going to take. I think they're doing like some sort of cruise. That's why they end up in multiple cities.
I love this rich people dinner. I feel like I want to be classier here. I feel like I need to be super elegant.
I never thought I'd be in Sevilla
She says Lisa says super elegance. Okay.
on a horse carriage in a dress like this.
Welcome on board. This will be the most epic cruise ever.
I think this was actually a really good idea for them to do like this sort of, I don't know if it's a Mediterranean cruise, but it's over there.
I'm wearing my ring again.
She decides to get back with Todd. That's not fair for Frankie.
Why does Peter talk like that? It's almost like a drawn out vocal fry. It's not exactly a vocal fry. There's a little, can you imagine him? Like he could never have like a regular 9 to 5. It's like real, like, I'm sorry.
I want Frankie living with someone that doesn't really give a
But I agree with him. I don't know how Alexia could even consider being with Todd, even though from what we hear now, she's not with Todd. I can't keep up with her. But they're divorced. They're divorced at this particular point.
Finger feels really empty.
Okay, Lisa is now insinuating that she wants to get engaged. She's like, this ring finger is feeling real empty.
I just need to not fear that if I get engaged, that I'm not walking into chaos.
He wants to make sure that he's not walking into chaos. Have you met her? I don't think she should get engaged. This is too quick. And I know her ex-husband is already engaged and not engaged and then engaged again. I don't care about him. He was cheating. This is girl, just be on your own.
Jody texted you?
I was
What did Jody text?
literally getting death threats.
Kiki was getting death threats?
What's going on with Adriana? I thought you girls were good. It's a question mark, and I...
So the second half of the Real Housewives of Miami season is going to be about Adriana and Julia's friendship. I'm already team Adriana. I've seen enough of Julia this season to know who Julia really is. So I'm already team Adriana.
don't know.
Why are you even protecting her instead of me? I'm my best friend.
You all punishing me now to getting close to them, Adriana.
You're toxic. I see you for who you are. I'm gonna be your enemy too.
Yes. No, be her enemy, not her frenemy. She calls Julia toxic. Julia is toxic.
When someone can't really manipulate you, they make you feel like you're crazy.
I'm not I'm the farthest thing from a manipulator.
Both Marisol and Alexia are delusional. Alexia thinks that she is not a narcissist. Now Marisol says that she's far from a manipulator. You are the biggest manipulator on this cast. You are the biggest manipulator. She says she's far from a manipulator. So Stephanie is saying to her that she's a manipulator.
When someone can't really manipulate you, they make you feel like you're crazy.
I'm not I'm the farthest thing from a manipulator. You are too old.
Who is Kiki calling too old? It has to be Marisol.
Manipulator. You are too old to be talking like this to people.
Sorry about that.
Who is she talking to? Who is Kiki? Kiki's gonna have a good mid-season, it looks like.
Sorry about the outburst. Drinks on the house, on us.
And Lisa almost falls. Lord have mercy. Lisa's a little kooky funny. At least based off this trailer, we're getting kooky funny from Lisa. This is such a great cast overall. I'd much rather talk about Real Housewives of Miami than talk about Orange County or even Atlanta at this particular point. So the mid-season trailer just dropped, and as you know, every Wednesday a new episode at 9 o'clock airs of The Real Housewives of Miami, and every Thursday afternoon we recap it here on the channel. You can also hear our recaps on the Kempire podcast. All right. Before we get to Real Housewives of Orange County, today's live show is brought to you by our friends over at Factor Meals. Factor Meals has us covered. You can get a chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meal. They got everything from keto, they've got protein plus, calorie smart, and you get these meals in just 2 minutes. It's the summertime, so between busy schedules and summer plans, sometimes all I've got is a couple of minutes. Factor helps me eat smarter with tasty chef-prep meals that are dietitian-approved and delivered right to my door. And now with more than 65 weekly meals made for how I live and what I like to eat, I've got even more ways to fit in a real meal wherever the day takes me. And today's a busy day for me. Okay, so eat smart at factormeals.com/Kempire50off and use code Kempire50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code Kempire50off at factormeals.com/Kempire50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. More information on Factor Meals will be available in the description. And for those that are watching on X or on Twitch, you can head on over to our YouTube channel or our Facebook and you can get all of those details so you can get the benefits as well. All right, let's get into the Real Housewives of Orange County. Again, guys, how would you rate this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Orange County from 1 to 10? There is a live poll on our YouTube channel. Those of you that are watching on Twitch, let me know how you would rate it as well from 1 to 10. If I had to rate this week's episode, I'm going to give it a 7. It was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it was okay. And I get why so many people that are watching this show don't like the cast as a whole. What happened to Heather? Did Heather have a lobotomy? I don't understand. I don't understand why she has like this whole new change of heart when it comes to Tamra. Everyone's speculating on some level that Tamra must have something on Heather. I don't think so. What is the reason? I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't need her to be on a hate train when it comes to Tamra, but it doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. Anyone else? Just saying. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Let me see. 5. J Poo on Twitch gave it a 5. Mama Ellie gave it an 8. Mama Ellie, I don't know if they have diabetic meals. You probably can check on Factor's website to see if they do. Because I'm sure you can also access all of the nutritional facts of the different meals. Tanya says, I give it a 5. It was an okay episode. Nelson says, Heather is acting like she is brand new. Yeah, it's not making sense to me. Deborah says, blackmail on YouTube. It doesn't make sense, and I can see why Jenn is getting frustrated, because Jenn was actually, I don't know if this is real or not, but I feel as if Jenn had a real friendship with Tamra versus what Heather has with Tamra in the past. You know what I mean? I don't think Tamra and Heather were ever really friends besides show friends. I feel like Jenn and Tamra were friendlier. I don't know if they were friends, but I definitely think they were friendlier. And they had more in common. I don't think that Heather and Tamra have anything in common. Foxy says Heather's kind of boring to watch. There's nothing going on with Heather. But after last week's episode, which ends up being the top of this episode, we're at her birthday party. None of these women are going to be able to throw an $80,000 party. Who on this cast is going to be able to throw an $80,000 party and not be broke? Who? Let me take a look at this cast. Who on this cast is going to be able to throw an $80,000 party and not be broke? after it or complain about it. No one. Everyone. And I was actually shocked. You saw that scene with the Joshes, the real estate Joshes? How did Heather get that house? The last time we saw that house a couple of episodes ago, it was stripped. Now, all of a sudden, it's done. Like magic. I was like, only Heather. Only Heather. But where's Heather living? Isn't Heather in LA? I don't really care, but I kind of want to see Heather buy something in Orange County just for the realism of it all. But Heather's the only one that could throw an $80,000 party. Yes, $80,000. 50-something days after her birthday. I don't care. She brings the luxury. She brings that thing that you guys say that you love on the show. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. But I do sometimes look at Heather and I'm like, why are you here? It also doesn't feel like she would mix and mingle with these women in real life. And I'm not saying that she only mixes and mingles with people with money. Here's the thing. I don't think it's even just money. And I know Heather didn't necessarily grow up with money like that. I think it's, they seem, so I can't wait for our live show. It feels like she's doing charity work on this show. I just don't feel like these are her people. Maybe when Shannon was still married to Bador, maybe then Shannon lived that life. But right now, none of them. But all right, let me move on. I don't want to, I'm jumping around. So we're at the birthday party. You know how the birthday party ended between Shannon and Katie getting into that argument. I'm Team Katie on that argument. I felt like Shannon was doing the most. I agree with Shannon. Nobody wants to be recorded. And nobody wants you bringing that recording to someone that is suing me's girlfriend. Okay? Do you believe that Katie did play it for Alexis and Jenn? I believe she did play it for them. According to Alexis, she did hear it. Who do you think is a liar, though? Based on what we have so far, I can't say that we've gotten Alexis in a lot of lies. We can say we've gotten Katie in a bunch of lies. I believe Katie played it for her. Katie dropped the tape, or Katie just sent me the tape. I promise I won't play it for the public. I just want to hear it, and then I'm going to reenact it for you guys. I want to hear it. Foxy says Shannon recorded Kelly, though. But they addressed that on Watch What Happens Live. You know what I mean? Katie looked beautiful on Watch What Happens Live last night. I will say this, though, Katie. The way that you answer some of the questions, although I appreciate you answering the questions, girl, you're gonna need more energy at that reunion than what you were given on Watch What Happens Live. You're going to need more friends. It looks like, based on what Katie said on Watch What Happens Live, that her and Jenn are not in the best place. Oh gosh. So there's nobody on Katie's team. Nobody likes to see a gang up, but I feel like more lies are going to be told. And if you don't even have Jenn on your side, that's not a good look for you, Katie. So Katie, if you're watching this, I would make friends with Jenn again. That's going to be your only saving grace. But what happens during the season? What happens to the point where you guys are no longer friends? Savannah says, Katie dropped the tape. Yeah, come on, Katie. Just send me the tape. I'll reenact it for the audience. Send me the tape. All right? You guys are funny. His Bookie Bear says, Gina's house, warning, spread was not chef's kiss at all. And can they stop talking about Travis's balls? Can they stop? I don't want to picture that. There's nothing that I want to picture when it comes to that. They've mentioned his balls at least twice already this season. Let's stop mentioning his balls. Like, no one cares. No one's interested. Okay. Somo, thank you so much for the super chat. Someone says Stephanie is a classist and obsessed with money. Normally that would be fine if she had a personality. Probably. You're right. You're probably right. Because there's a bunch of people that are like that on these shows. I saw that, Theo. Theo says that Katie kept going, doing weird poses and calling her husband Zaddy Maddie. Is she learning lingo from her daughter? I did notice that last night. I was like, She looked beautiful, though. That's one thing I can say. She looked beautiful. So the beginning of this episode, Katie ends up leaving because she ended up not getting anywhere with Shannon. Shannon said that she's worse than Alexis and John Jansen and Tamra, blah, 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 blah. That's where I feel like Shannon was just doing the most. Shannon, at this particular point, says she is never going to talk to Katie again. And I was like, never going to talk to Katie again? I was like, that. And I get it. She recorded Shannon. Nobody would want to be recorded. But Shannon, now people are now coming out with their own stories, surviving Shannon, about how she is behind the scenes to the crew. And we told you, we weren't part of that hate train on Joel Cam Booster when he came out, the host of Love Hotel, and said that she was terrible behind the scenes to the crew. A lot of the Bravo universe were terrible to him, bullied him online. And I was like, why are y'all mad at him for telling you what Shannon did to a coworker? I don't understand why y'all are mad at him. Y'all should be, and again, I said to you then, that's not the first time I heard that Shannon's terrible behind the scenes, allegedly. So now all that information is starting to come out. I just found it to be interesting during this scene that she's like, I will never talk to her again. And then the entire cast, because none of them like Katie, they're like, oh, what happened? Oh my gosh. Oh, even Gina's just like, I don't even know how you would even feel. I mean, based on what she did to me, I mean, and I didn't even want to talk to her. And then Heather chimes in, she's like, yeah, I know. Samesies. She didn't say those words. Samesies. I was just like, these are women. And I get it. Katie came after Heather. Heather will never see it for Katie. I just feel like they should be able to move forward, especially if you're going to film this show. But Katie, like, girl, like you really messed up this opportunity last season with that stupid paparazzi stuff. I don't know why you thought that, but for me, it's a reminder to pay attention to stuff like that. Someone that comes in and tells weird lies and starts weird drama. Pay attention to that. I've noted there's something with Katie that we should pay attention to. That's why I'm not like Team Katie at all, because I'm like, there's still something there with Katie that I'm like, and then with the whole road rage of it all. But that's me. But pay attention. I said the same thing about Shamia, and y'all at the time were like, oh no, Kempire, I like Shamia, and she's ugly. Now all y'all saw what I saw. But we shall see. Okay. So Tamra arrives with Joe, but they see Katie and her husband, Zaddy Maddie, outside. Ew, I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit. not because Zaddy Maddie is not, just the whole thing. I just don't like that. Ew. Okay. So they run into Tamra, and Tamra wants to act all fake concerned. She's like, where are you going? Where are you going? What's wrong? And she's like, you know what's wrong. You are the one that initiated all of this. Tamra sat on this information for a year and didn't say anything. Tamra wants to make it seem like, oh, I don't know why I said it. Tamra knows what she's doing. We know what she's doing. She sat on that information to drop the bomb so she can produce. Okay? But here's the thing, Katie. You should have gotten ahead of the story. You should have gotten ahead of the story. You did what you did, okay? And Tamra sat on that in order to drop it. So she confronts Tamra about it, and Tamra's just like, I forgot everything that she said. It's unimportant. But Matt says, oh, you want to act all concerned. He didn't say it like this, but he's like, you want to act all concerned when you're the one who started this. She later tells Gina and the girls that Zaddy Maddie yelled at her. And I'm glad they replayed it. He did not yell at her. Heather says that he should not get involved. He was standing right there. I don't mind him actually getting involved because he was right there. It's not like he went into the conversation. Tamra went up to them as they were trying to leave. I don't mind him stepping in and just saying, like, you started all of this. Like, why are you saying? He probably is also frustrated with Tamra. Like, are you serious right now? But okay. Savannah says that Tamra is producing, which is annoying. This is what Tamra, and this is what I talked about when I was talking about Phaedra saying she's trying to secure her contract. And she's like, my contract is secure. Well, no, this is what Tamra's doing. She has a secured contract, but she knows that she has to bring it in order to secure the next contract. So keep that in mind. That's what Angela was talking about on Real Housewives of Atlanta towards Phaedra. You're trying to secure the next contract because it's a contract that's season by season. And of course, Phaedra's contract was a contract that goes from season 16 to season 17. Okay? So Katie and Tamra have their back and forth, and Katie wonders why Tamra held on to this for a year. Katie said that she never called Tamra a name like she did, and they flash back to all the names that Tamra called Katie. And Tamra was like, oh, yeah, but you call bloggers to get stories out there about me. She did, though. Katie did. So Tamra, Joe tries to bring Tamra back in. Isn't everyone looking at Joe like, girl, why would you even get involved in this? You know you're clearly being used, but very much like one of the callers called in last week during a Real Housewives of Orange County recap. You guys said, it was Janice who said that, yeah, they are good. Joe and Gretchen are good. So she couldn't even imagine that Joe would show up to this and be a part of this. Joe does. Now I'm looking at Joe like you're lame. Like, why would you show up? Clearly she's using you. But Heather knew about this because Tamra says, oh, I told Heather that I was going to bring Joe. And she's like, yes, bring Joe. Mind you, Heather is also good friends with Gretchen. I think Heather wants to always keep the smoke off of her. Heather also wants to produce. Just saying. So anything she can produce and keep the smoke off of her and her relationship or lack thereof, I don't know. I'm just saying. I think she's willing to do. So maybe she has a lot more in common with Tamra than we thought. Marsando says, I'm so tired of Tamra. Aren't we all? I'm every week when she's talking about everything that's going on with Teddy, and everything that's going on with Teddy is real. But at the same time, it's hard for me to have real compassion for Tamra because I'm just like, because it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real. All right, so Tamra and Joe enter the party, and Gretchen's like, and there it is. Gretchen's like, see, that is who Tamra is. Tamra is still going to always take a dig. Even if we're going to try and start anew, she's always going to come in here and take a dig. But you know what Gretchen does? She goes over and she hugs Joe because they're in actually a good place. For those that don't know, and you just started watching Real Housewives of Orange County, Joe and Slade were together at one particular point. They weren't married, but they were together. They even flashed back to when he broke up with her. All right. So this was Tamra's way of trying to get at Slade, but they're all good. There is no issue. So why exactly did she bring Joe? Because Tamra is always producing. I mean, it would have been worse if she brought one of Slade's family members that he's not in a good relationship with. That'll probably be next season. Probably. All right. Dr. Terry is acting weird because, they had a weed bar at this party. So they flash back to all the little weird things that he was saying and doing during the party. He's a doctor. He's always busy. Let him have his fun. Whatever. Dr. Terry wonders whether or not Tamra has changed. She's like, she's been going through a lot. So he's having these conversations with Ryan and Jenn. And, but he's like, with the seriousness of what she's going through, she's changed. And they're like, really? Heather says to Jenn, this is when Heather and Jenn get into it. Heather says to Jenn that when do you make allowances for Tamra? She feels as if Jenn is just so blinded by her anger and her feelings towards Tamra that she can't even seem to give Tamra grace. I don't understand how you expect Jenn to give Tamra grace. This is not like something that happened years ago. This is stuff that has happened recently. And when Jenn explains that her accusations of the FBI raiding her home affected her custody situation, where she had to pay for attorneys that she doesn't have the money for, I'm like, how do you expect her to have grace for her? And then literally when you were hanging out with her, Heather, she was talking about this woman's body, comparing her, making it seem like she's obsessed with her. But okay. I just want to kind of skip through all this stuff, guys, because if it's not necessarily part of it. So Heather makes this, they have that conversation. Heather makes a speech. She talked about loving her friends. They have all the sparklers. The credits show us that this is 53 days after her actual birthday, which I don't care. And the party cost $80,000. It cost $80,000. Again, who on this cast could throw a party for $10,000? Nevertheless, an $80,000 party. Who on this cast? No one. This is why they keep her there. This is exactly why they keep her there. She will actually be able to front the bill for something like this. Bravo probably gave her a $1,000 stipend. She paid the $79,000 to throw this party. All right, so they're having a good time for the party. All right, we go to the next scene. All right, Gina and Travis are at their open house. This is where we find out that Gina and Travis have started their own real estate group. Last year, they sold $10 million in real estate. They're at this new place that they're having an open house for. All right, fine. Tamra actually comes to the property to see the property. I guess they just wanted to have a scene because is Tamra looking for a house? But okay. Tamra mentions her combo with Jenn. Because at the party, Jenn went up to Tamra to say, I think we should have a conversation. But the way, and again, we're watching an edited show, but the way that we saw it, that's not how Jenn said it. But the way that Tamra brings it to Gina is just like, she was like, oh, making all these theatrics that Jenn was just like, I think we should have a conversation. And I'm just like, that's not how she said it, but okay. So she talks about that she's going to have a conversation with Jenn. She doesn't know what the conversation is going to be about. Tamra says that Jenn pretends to be kind, but all the time she's slamming her on social media. Okay, maybe she's slamming you on social media, but you're probably slamming her on your podcast. Tamra really likes to pretend like she's innocent, but you're not. If anything, a lot of times what I see from Jenn is her clapping back at things that you guys have said about her on the show. It's rare that I see her just initiate any sort of shade towards Tamra on social media. A lot of times if I see any shade that Jenn throws towards Tamra, it's a clap back to something that was said on the show. Just saying. All right, in another scene, we have Jenn and Ryan going to the dentist. And then we find out there's an OC MILF checklist. You got to get the boobs, the tummy tuck, the tan, and apparently the teeth. And this is why they're there. I saw her original teeth, and I was like, her teeth are fine. But I get it. Some people just want like a perfect smile. But, you know, God created perfection. So, and I'm so glad. I went to my dentist a few years ago, and I did Invisalign. And I was like, oh, cause, you know, I was like, all right, because they do cosmetic stuff there. I was like, what about, you know, veneers? I never really wanted to do veneers. It's a big investment to do veneers. God forbid if you don't have the money years from now where you got to fix veneers, then you all shade down your original teeth. He was like, you have great teeth. You don't need to do veneers. And I was like, you know what? Especially because he makes tons of money off of that. He was like, no, your teeth are perfect. They're fine. You don't need to do it. And I was like, perfect. So I never did. So when I look at her teeth weren't bad versus what we saw. And what we saw was just the mock-up, you know, the fake ones before she actually gets the actual veneers. I was like, girl, you don't need veneers. But I get it. It's Orange County. It's very much, and at least she makes a joke about it. She got the tummy tuck. She's got the boobs. She doesn't have the bag, though, she said. What bag? A Birkin? What's the bag? I didn't see the bag. Did they show the bag? Maybe I missed that. Can you guys tell me what the bag is? And I also feel like if I put fake teeth, look, I do got a nice smile. Look at that. I got all my teeth. Look, y'all all, look, yeah, I got that from Invisalign. The Invisalign process, though, oh my God, it's annoying. Like the beginning, because you have to wear them all the time. And for the rest of your life, at night, I have to put in and I'm good about it. I wear my retainers every night. That's why when I go to the dentist, oh, the bag is money? Oh, I thought it was a real bag. That's what I thought about. I was like, is it a bag or is it the bag? She said she didn't get the bag. Anyway, back to Invisalign. No, back to Real Housewives of Orange County. Focus, y'all. So I'm glad I didn't get it. Doesn't mean I won't get it in the future. No, I'm not going to get it, y'all. No. No. Focus. And for those that are listening to the podcast version, I was showing off my teeth. Okay. Exactly, Teresa. Teresa says, they're done. Okay, Nene, they're done. I have to say, and this is not hate. This is not hate on Portia. Calm down, peach juices. Peach juices, cease and seckle. Pageant Mom says Invisalign is annoying. I did micro braces behind my teeth. Ooh. Okay, wait, focus. Portia's teeth? Sometimes when I look at Portia's a beautiful woman. But sometimes when I look at Portia, I'm like, those teeth are too exaggerated. Those teeth are very horse teethish. And that is something that Simon will always be reminded of Portia because she had him go get those teeth done. I don't know if he never got them done before, but he got in a relationship with her. He's wearing waist trainers and new teeth. Okay. So when I look at her teeth, sometimes I'm like, ooh, Portia, those teeth. A little horsey. Thank you, Jan. Hey, Janice. Janice, how did you feel about seeing Joe there? I feel like that was kind of lame of Joe. Somo, thank you so much for... Somo, how do you say your name? Somo Delalesque? Tamra's therapy storyline feels like a contradiction to her behavior this season and every season. Clearly. But you see at the end of this episode, she tries to walk away and make it seem like because of therapy, I'm going to walk away. Normally, I would stay and fight. Okay, girl. All right. All right. Sidebar, when at the open house, y'all notice how that man was looking at the picture of Gina and he was like, that's you? And she's like, I got a little, airbrushing, but yeah, that's me. Look, that's me. That's not you, girl. Did I see Tamra at Bravo? Not Tamra. Did I see Gina at BravoCon? I can't remember if I saw her in person. I did see her in person. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So she's getting new teeth, whatever, Jen. So Jen and Ryan are there. And so Jen says it's weird because everyone in the friend group is saying that Tamra is going through something. So she wants to sit down with her and see. But of course, Ryan, because of the accusations that Tamra has had against him, has threatened legal action against her. He's like, are you sure you want to do this? And apparently 3 days earlier, Gina told Jen that Tamra said that, she put in my old hair extensions. So Tamra sits on this information so that she can use it against. Someone said that's why you're blocked, Kemp. By Portia. I never said that before. This is my first time saying it. Okay? But okay. So 3 days earlier, Jen was told by Gina, because Gina's a producer, saying that Tamra said, she put in my old hair extensions. So that comes up later when Jen and Tamra sit down. And apparently this was like an old joke that Jen had told Tamra about when she had went to the hair salon. Jen, I believe you. Jen is probably the only likable person on this cast. Heather's likable for the most part. I don't know what this head transplant that we've gotten when it comes to Tamra is, but for the most part, I like Heather on the show. She's needed. But Jen, I like. So and we also know how Tamra twists and turns information. Here's Janice said. Janice says that very lame seeing Joe at the party and the whole prayer during the car ride. Ugh. Yeah, exactly. But you saw what Gretchen did when Joe came in. She gave her a hug. Gretchen for the win. Yep. Gretchen for the win. Guys, if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know where you're watching from, how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. And don't forget the Kempire After Dark, The Villain Era live tour. It's coming to Atlanta this Tuesday at City Winery. Go get your tickets today. Meet and greets are available for that show. Then I'm coming to DC on August 22nd. Then back in New York City on September 12th. Those shows have Those shows have meet and greets. The New York City show has a live stream option exclusively. So if you've never been a part of the Kempire After Dark live experience, go get your tickets for the live stream for the New York City show. Anyone can watch that from around the world, and you'll have that for about a week. But you have to buy your ticket before the show. All right, so go get your tickets today. All right, April says, I believe Jen. Savannah says, Tamra, we love you. Go fix yourself. Best advice from Heather and Jen. We love you. Go fix yourself. I don't think Tamra will ever change. Do y'all? I don't think she'll ever change. Like that scene with Tamra and her daughter, Sophia. Here's here's the thing. Sophia, Sophia's in community college. Sophia's selling clothes online. Sophia is helping Tamra sell her clothes online. Sophia says that she's making excuses not to move out because she really doesn't want to move out. So then Tamra turns it and makes it about herself. And she's like, well, since Sydney moved out, I'm afraid that if Sophia moves out, we'll never talk again. You should be worried about other things, because I feel like if she moves out and she doesn't want to be connected with you anymore, it's more about you. Can you imagine Tamra as a mom? It's almost what I can imagine what Jackie Christie might be as a mom. However, I still don't think that excuses the behavior of Chantel Christie and what she did on the show. But I also realize that these women are not probably the best mothers, maybe, based on what we've seen on the show. Okay? So this is where, of course, Tamra, always producing, asks Sophia, so, do you think that therapy's helping me? So I'm like, okay. So she always has to bring it back. You notice in every episode when they're talking about her therapy, she always got to bring it back around. I'm like, all right, poor Sophia always looks sort of like, do I really need to do this? So we had that scene. But before we had that scene, Heather met with Josh and Josh. You remember from $1 Million Listing LA. They come to help her sell this house. I don't understand how a couple of episodes ago, and again, remember, they only really filmed for like 3-4 months max. When exactly, unless they just decided to film this and insert it, I don't think so. Heather is Oz. We just saw a stripped down version of this house, and now all of a sudden this house is done. Speaking of Nene in the teeth, done. The house is done. They stripped the house. Remember the original thing was she was going to renovate the house, so she stripped it, and then the guy came in over budget, millions of dollars over budget, okay? And then she's just like, we need to do the floors. We come in, the house is done. The house is done. Why is she sandwiched? She is sandwiched in between LeBron and Drake. It's a beautiful home. But I can also understand she has kids that are getting older. Why are we going to renovate and invest in a home and the kids might not even be here for it? I would have thought that you would have thought about that before, but things happen with your kids. Kids change their mind on a whim, and now she's thinking the kids are going to be moving to the East Coast, some of the kids. So you think she's going to join Roni? I don't want to see her join Roni. I don't think she would fit in with Roni. I don't think she would fit in with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't know. Look, I don't know. Leslie says Heather has the personality of a coat rack. Come on, we got to give Heather a little bit more credit than that. I don't think that's fair, guys. Because I would tell you if I really felt like Heather was boring. But at the same time, I'm just sort of like, she brings the parties. She brings the real estate. I know that's probably not enough. Vicky says on Facebook, she's perfect for OC. Evil says, these comments are hilarious. They are, aren't they? BY says, is a house free of asbestos and mold? I don't know. Did it have it? I can't remember now. Well, now she's asking them to sell the house they have it listed for $25 million, but she wants to at least break even for $20 million. She's already invested a lot of money into this house. I guess when you have the millions, you can get the things done, right? Because they bought the house for like $16 million. Magnolia says, not a coat rack. That sent me. Heather has the personality of a coat rack. Wow. All right, moving on. If you're on Twitch, I am going to drop the call link for you guys first. Then members, I'll drop it for you. For those that are watching on YouTube, let's get to 200 likes, and I'll drop the call link for you guys as well. Let's get into some of these other stuff. So Shannon, Emily, and Gretchen go to do aerial yoga. Fine, we see them do the aerial yoga. Who cares? Then they talk about Gretchen making amends with Tamra. I don't think that Gretchen and Tamra will ever make amends. I don't think you can make amends with Tamra. Tamra will do, especially on the show. If they were off the show and they made amends, that would be one thing. I think on the show, Tamra is always going to be on, always going to self-produce, always going to do what producers want her to do. And if that means creating drama with a friend, she's going to create drama with a friend. So, Heather, please understand, Tamra will turn on you. Okay? So, they talk about that. I don't see that happening with Gretchen. Shannon talks about being done with Katie. She's like, I'm done. Done with her. Shannon says that if she recorded her, then she probably has recorded other things. What do you guys think? I was like, you're probably right. You're probably right. If she decided to get off a phone call to record someone, that is actually kind of interesting because I'm like, oh, I think I could see you doing that in other times. But okay. In another scene, we have Katie, Gina, and Heather meeting up for coffee. Gina says that Tamra said that Matt yelled at her. They play it back. She even said on Watch What Happens Live, Katie says, she's like, I don't even remember what happened. I remember after that, I went home and I asked Matt, did you yell at Tamra? They play it back. You saw it back. He did not yell at her. He got himself involved, and he was, of course, obviously annoyed with her, but he didn't yell at her. Very Karen-esque behavior, Tamra. And yes, for those that don't realize, Karen behavior. Did y'all see the Black Karen this week? That went viral. I always tell you, Karen is an energy. It's not a white thing. It's not a black thing. It's an energy. Okay. So Gina mentions what Tamra said. Heather then brings up that Tamra's the central focus here, spreading this information. She says that Tamra told her that Katie was hanging out with Kiki Monique, the talk of shame, and asked her to put out stories to hurt them. Has Kiki said anything? That would clear this up right now. Did Kiki get on social media and say that's not true? Can someone tell me? Did she come out and say? Because that would be the first thing that I would say. If someone said I said something, I would then, unless she's going to be on the season. And that's why she hasn't said anything. Because y'all know if they had said, if someone said that to me, I would have just came out with a tweet. That never happened. But unless it's going to play out during the season, they do show a picture of Katie and Kiki hanging out. And Katie was like, I've really been following her for years. I really like her. But she was like, absolutely not. I never said it. She was like, prove it. When someone says prove it, I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like innocence. That doesn't sound like innocence. She was like, prove it. Okay, GC says, yes. Kiki said it's not true. Okay. That's what I'm saying. So Kiki's saying, the talk of shame is saying that it's not true. Okay. But look, just for argument's sake, I'm not saying anything. But for argument's sake, Kiki's been on the channel before. For argument's sake, let's say that we're friends. Let's say me and Katie are friends. Am I going to throw Katie under the bus? And I don't know if they're friends or not. But am I going to throw Katie under the bus and be like, it's true, if it is true? I don't know if they're friends or not. But my thing, if you're going to go hang out and have, break bread, you're friends. And in Katie's head, friends. She doesn't see them as bloggers. She sees them as friends. So, I don't know. All right. Anyway. So Kiki is denying this story. Again, if I was in this group, I would probably think that that Katie would do something like this. Because you have already been caught doing something like this. You've been caught recording us. So part of me thinks that you would do this. Sorry. And then to say, prove it. Wait. I don't know, guys. If I didn't do something, I was just like, I never did that. I don't know why you guys are saying stuff like that about me. I don't know if I would say prove it. I don't know if I would say prove it. Prove it. Prove it? What do you mean, prove it? Prove it. There's something sinister behind saying prove it. Right? Oh, Metal Source says Katie definitely got a pass. Clearly, she does. She definitely has a pass. Which leads me into this. Katie at home talking with Matt about Gina feeling like she's in the middle. Gina puts herself in the middle because that's the only way that she's going to get a check. Okay. Once she sees back this season, I wonder how Katie feels about some of the things that Gina has said to the group. Okay. So Gina, she's like, I like you. I like really hanging out with you. But, there's the things that have happened and, So she feels in the middle. But more importantly, what Katie talks about, she says finally she's going to have all of her children for the very first time under the same roof. And I'm happy for her. I'm happy because that does seem like something that she's always wanted. And she talks about how now, but Kylie is going to be moving out on her own. And Matt's like, that's a good thing. That's the whole point of being a parent, is to be able to give your kids the skills enough to move out. But Katie's just like, this is the first time I'm having all of my kids at home together because of everything that she's gone through with her ex. Now, all the kids are going to be under one roof. But Kaylee is going off to college, and I'm sure she will visit often. Okay. So they talk about that. The final scene that we get, is with Jenn and Tamra. But before we do that, if you are a Twitch follower, I'm going to drop the call-in link for our Twitch fam first. Okay. And we're going to take some quick calls because the brother got to go. Okay, so this is the call link, and if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call link for you guys as well. Thank you guys so much on. Well, we already hit 200 likes on YouTube, so I'm going to drop the call link for you guys as well. Okay, there you go. There goes the call in link for today's Real Housewives of Orange County recap. If you haven't already, keep liking the video. Don't forget, you can also watch or listen to our recaps on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today, and while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I am going to drop a special episode between now and probably tomorrow talking about this Cardi B and Ra Ali fight that happened down in Cannes, but it will only be for our Club Kempire members on Apple Podcasts. So you can go to the Apple Podcast website, or you can actually go to the app if you have an Apple product and subscribe to our podcast, but also you'll see on our page there's an option for the Club Kempire free 3-day trial, or you can become a member. I'm always dropping exclusive content there as well. I probably will also drop episodes while I'm on the road, drop special episodes for our Club Kempire baddies. All right? Thank you, Savannah. Savannah says, yes, Kev, Gina's impression is great. Thank you. I can't wait. And Gina's from New York. Why are you talking like that? Like, Heather gives more New York than Gina, and she's from upstate New York. Where is Gina from? Is she from New York or New Jersey? New Jersey? I can't remember. But she's New York, New Jersey. For me, it's all of the same. The tri-state area. Okay. All right. Yes, Beauty. We literally talked about And Just Like That and that announcement at the top of this recap. You might be just joining us. Coco, funny on Twitch. Coco says, still trying to figure out what Ra Ali was doing in Cannes. Hell, even Cardi. Well, maybe I'll explain when I do my Club Kempire thing. They have an event there every summer where you'll see a lot of content creators and people go for this special event. Gina's from Long Island, so she is from New York. So all that voice, I'm like, oh. All right. Patrick Mommy says she's from Long Island. So it's the same thing. Like, I don't get it. Look, I don't get it, but it's all right. All right, guys. This final scene with Jenn and Tamra, they sit down for this conversation, and it goes left almost immediately. Jenn talks about what Tamra has been going through with Teddy. We continue to pray for Teddy. Last I heard this week, I think they said that she has like a 50-50 chance with the cancers that she's dealing with. So let's continue to uplift Teddy in prayer. So Jenn talks about, everybody wants me to give you grace because of everything that's going on with Teddy. Jenn wants to know where their friendship fell apart. Okay. It's actually pretty awkward when they first arrive because they're like, hi. They sit down. Hi. She's like, so what exactly did you want to talk about? So that's when she talks about all the, she says, Tamra says that Ryan is not innocent in all of this stuff. And I haven't seen Ryan's stuff. I know he did an interview on a podcast. I know he'll post things on social media. But I don't think Ryan would have initiated beef with Tamra. I think he's just going to always have it for her. You accuse the man of being a criminal. Is he a criminal or not? I don't know. I mean, but he never served any jail time. Okay? I probably would always not see it for you either. You accused me and you accused my girlfriend. You keep coming for my girlfriend, my fiance, and you are always spreading like damning accusations and misinformation. That's why you had to come back on social media and backtrack everything that you said. Okay. But then it gets really heated very quickly because Jenn points out that Tamra accused Ryan of being raided by the FBI, which affected her children, it affected her custody. Okay? Tamra says that Jenn can say whatever she wants and no one can say anything back to her. I don't believe that's what Jenn does on social media. I don't believe Jenn goes on social media and says, I'm going to come for Tamra today. That's not who Jenn's personality is. Literally, in this back and forth between Jenn and Tamra storms off. And of course, cutesy Jenn sees a dog at the restaurant, and that's where Jenn ends up. Like, to me, it was such a metaphor for the people that we're talking about. You're storming off, claiming that you're all healed. You're on a healing journey. And Jenn, who really is healed, sees a beautiful dog at the restaurant. She's like, oh, dog. That's just who Jenn is. To me, it was like, and I get why production left it in. Okay? But, of course, Tamra would not be Tamra without blowing up and accusing Ryan of doing it, saying that Jenn can say whatever she wants on social media, but no one can say anything to her. Then she accuses Jenn of cheating. This is what Tamra does. This is why no one trusts Tamra. Tamra literally, instead of really trying to work on a friendship that she once had with Jenn, she now wants to drop new information. I don't know if it's new information. I don't know if it's something she made up in her head. Okay? You know what Keith says, you don't have to be in jail to be a criminal. Well, point made, Keith. Point made. We got one running the country. Okay. All right. But yeah. So then Tamra decides to say, well, that's not the first time that you cheated on Will, her ex-husband. So she's now accusing Jenn of having a cheating with some guy at another yoga studio. And Jen's just like, what are you talking about? They even talk about the whole hair extension stuff, but we talked about that already. Jenn says, like, that was something I told you years ago. And now all of a sudden you want to bring it up, make it seem like I'm trying to be you. And I'm just like, okay, it makes more sense. Because first of all, I was all like, how did she know about that? So it was something that Jenn had said to Tamra years ago. Oh, I went to the hair salon and they had like your leftover hair extensions and they put it in, blah, blah. She was being funny about it, but she didn't wear it. So then, of course, Tamra brings up the whole, oh, you were cheating on Will before. I don't know if any of that is true, but the fact that Tamra decides to drop that in this conversation, that is someone I could never, ever be friends with. And that's probably why Heather is just like, I don't want to make her mad because I don't know what Tamra has on Heather. So maybe she does have something on Heather. Look, because you see this season alone, the healed Tamra, who's in therapy and crying about it, and she's trying to be a better person. This is what she does in this season. She's dropping bombs of information that she's had for a while. And I know production loves it. But if you're trying to be a real friend with her, there's no way. There's no way. Pageant Mommy says, birds of a feather. Wasn't his bestie investigated by the feds? Yes. There's something a little suspicious. However, he hasn't been charged. He wasn't raided by the feds. So I can understand Ryan never seeing it for Tamra, in my opinion. All right, let's get to some quick callers because, like I said, I got to go. I got a meeting. I got things to do, and I need to record our Club Kempire Baddies podcast episode as well today. And it's just a lot. I got to also prepare for our Kempire After Dark live experience coming to Atlanta August 5th, then DC August 22nd, then, of course, New York City on September 12th. Ticket information is available in the description. Live chat, just watching on YouTube. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. And I dropped the call link. All right, I dropped it everywhere. Okay, good. All right, Cynthia's backstage. Cynthia, again, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. Cynthia, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Orange County?
How you doing, Kempire?
Oh, well, how are you?
And Orange County was good. I gave it an 8. The episode was kind of weird. I don't like Tamra. And I'm very surprised that she's a Virgo.
I always forget that.
Because my best friend is a Virgo. She's sinister.
Yeah. That's why you got to know her moon and her rising.
I need a... Yeah, I don't have that. I don't care.
You don't care enough.
Shannon, she was on, I think she was on ET, and she kind of explained herself backtracking about Katie. Remember, she said that she will never, ever, ever speak to Katie again. So she's kind of backtracking. So I think she may or may not speak to Katie again.
Really? I didn't think she backtracked on in that ET interview. I felt like
the one that she dropped today.
Oh, wait, she did another one?
I think she did another one.
Oh, because that last one she did like a week ago.
You know what? She sat down with someone today.
Okay, it probably wasn't ET. It was probably another one.
Probably another one. But other than that, Kempire, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Have a good day.
Have a good one.
Bye. All right, Miss Bernice is backstage. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Orange County?
What up, dog? What up, dog? How you doing, Kempire? Happy August to everybody.
Oh, yes, August 1st.
Yes, first of the month.
Pay your bills.
Got that right. Satan is going to be Satan. See, Satan is like when I looked at Sinners, and he was so insisted on getting Sammy for his connection to his ancestors. But what you fail to realize, baby, you have no soul. What you don't have, you cannot connect to. Tamra is that same person. Okay, you're going to do whatever you can to try to get them women to like you, but what you're doing is undermining the relationship that you're building with them. And then you sit there and pout like a baby, but why won't nobody talk to me? Because of what you do. Yeah. And Katie is that same way. Katie is that same way because her reaction is, I'm already going to do what I already did to you, but I don't appreciate you coming checking me, so I got to dig up dirt on you.
Yeah.
So that's wrong, Jen. And that's what, and like I said, her and Mr. Robinson, I don't need to see them. They need to find them a time machine and just fly away and say bye-bye and take little Stin and Rimpy, which is Emily and Gina, and bye-bye. Okay.
Sidebar, is Sinners available now for purchase, to rent, or...
Yeah, it's on Max.
It's on Max now? Okay, because I want to watch it. I want to watch it again. I saw it already twice, but I want to watch it again.
Oh, yeah. I done looked at it 3 times. Ooh, yeah. I'm going to look at it again this weekend.
So good.
Yes.
So good. Thank you so much, Bernice, for calling in. Have a great weekend.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Hold on. I was like, why was Bernice watching Sinners? All right. Joe says, and just like that was canceled. Thank God. We talked about that. It's so funny that we did end up talking about it during this Real Housewives of Orange County recap at the top. We talked about that, and we also played the Real Housewives of Miami mid-season trailer. Okay? All right. GC will round us out with this conversation. GC, what did you want to share in regards to Real Housewives of Orange County?
Hi, Kempire. How are you? Can you hear me?
Well, how are you? Do you have headphones on?
No, I don't.
Oh, there we go. Now you sound better.
No, I was swallowing. Anyway, I'm recovering from hip surgery, so I'm loving watching you. But let me tell you, I've watched Orange County from the beginning, and Tamra has not changed. Her idea is she came from trailer trash and she's not gonna ever go back to being trailer trash. And she will do anything and everything it will so that she doesn't have to be that. She hasn't realized, it hasn't clicked over to her that she's in a different space now, but she's still got that survival in the back of her head. As far as Joe, I don't know why Joe did this, but Joe's a nice person. I like when Joe and Slade had their show, Date My Ex. That was a funny show. Once they were no longer together, he was then, it was a dating show for him, hooking her up with guys and seeing which one he thought was best for her. So it was a good show. I thought it was really quirky and funny. I always liked Joe. She might make a little misstep here and there, but
like now.
But yeah, but she's a nice person. But I'm tired of Shannon. I really do, and I really go up for Shannon. But I'm just tired. I'm tired of all of them. Gina,
do you think Shannon needs like a break from the show?
Yes, she should have taken a break after her accident, but she didn't. That was her redemption. Fine, but it's now time to go to inpatient rehab. Okay, and let it all happen for her. Okay, she needs it. She needs to go that, and she needs to talk to the lady. Okay, but you guys have a wonderful weekend, Kempire. You're not flabbergasted. Are you?
I was like, wait, not inpatient, not talk to the lady. Well, I hope you feel better.
Thank you. I'm going to try to make it to New York. I'm in Jersey.
Yes.
But the hip.
I know.
I might have to get one of those, your viewing tickets.
Well, yes, because and see, now that's an excuse for why not to be able to come in person.
Thank you.
There is a live stream option, but yeah, I understand. You'll see how you feel. Either way, make sure you get it before the day, you can get it the day of, but if you know the day before, get it the day before. Okay,
you have a great weekend, everybody else, and bye, Kempire.
Bye, GC. Bye. I can't imagine hip surgery. Ooh, this is why I do Pilates, so I can avoid any of that stuff. But sometimes it's just genetics too. So healing. All right. Thank you all for being here. Shout out to the replay crew. Be sure to let me know where you're watching from, how you would rate Real Housewives of Orange County, what you thought of the mid-season trailer for Real Housewives of Miami. What do you think about the news that And Just Like That Season 3 will be the final season of the show? Yay! And don't forget to become a Club Kempire member. I am going to drop a special episode breaking down some of this Ra Ali and Cardi B situation. Look, and if you're a part of our Twitch community, maybe I'll give you guys a behind-the-scenes look of me recording that as well. So stay tuned. Thank you for everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that watched and liked the video. Shout out to our Twitch community, our Twitter community, our Facebook community, and of course our YouTube community. Thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down on multiple platforms. We appreciate you guys. I didn't even go live on TikTok today, but I probably will go live on TikTok later this evening. So make sure you follow me on TikTok as well. Everything is TheKempire or Kempire itself. And everything Kempire will be available in the description. All right? Exactly. Thank you, Foxy, for reminding everyone. Buy your live stream ticket for the New York City show before the show because you can't buy it after the show. Okay? Yet. I might change that because I do end up getting it. But if you're a member, you can see some of our past Kempire After Dark live shows. If you're a senior royal, you can see we have like a whole thing for you in regards to like old footage from our live show. So you have all access if you're a senior royal member on YouTube. Become a member today, teamkempire.com/join. All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to our members. And of course, thank you to our subscribers. And those of you watching the bushes, if you haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. And I'll see you all later. Twitch, stay around. I'll stay around for a couple more minutes. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. As always, you can hear Kempire on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. More information can be found on KempireRadio.com.